Welcome back, everybody. Pikachu13 signing on to something a little bit more different than something I've been normally doing here on YouTube. Today I'm going to tell you why you should buy a DSi and certain features it has. 3DS, God. The 3DS, for those of you who do not know, is the newest generation of a handheld system by Nintendo. It's the successor to the Nintendo DS and the predecessor to who knows what. The 3DS is called the 3DS because of the special ability it has to create 3D effects without the need of any special glasses. You know, like those red and blue glasses or those brand new Real D glasses in movie theaters. Yeah, you don't need that to play the 3D games on the 3DS. A special feature it has is the 3D depth slider to the right of the top screen that magnifies or decreases and completely turns off sometimes if you want the 3D on the 3DS. The turning it off completely is recommended if you're under the age of 7 because it may cause special problems in the eyes. Special thing that Nintendo warned us about. It has one camera on the top screen and two cameras on the back of the top screen. The reason for these two cameras is so you could take 3D pictures and 3D video, which is something I don't think anybody's been able to do normally and casually. Except unless you live in Hollywood or something like that, but whatever. Along with being able to take 3D images and video, you'll be able to view 3D Hollywood movies at a certain price. And I don't know how Nintendo plans to do that, but apparently they've already made the deal with certain movie companies and stuff like that. They've already mentioned it at the E3 Expo. They even showed a special 3D movie trailer for The Last Airbender at E3, which was pretty cool. As you can see on the left part of the bottom screen, there's an analog stick above the D-pad. This is probably going to be used like in the Nintendo 64, where you had the analog stick along with the D-pad, where you use the D-pad for certain things and the control stick for certain things, like in games like Paper Mario, where you could use the D-pad as certain shortcuts to your menu, and the control stick would actually move. I think that's going to be used like that on the 3DS, and I hope it is, so just feels nicer. Eventually, I'm pretty sure they're going to add a C analog stick under the A, B, X, and Y buttons in a new successor or something like that, hopefully. Next, under the bottom screen, you can see that there's a select, start, and home button. In the middle of the bottom of the DSi, you could see that there's, a headphone jack input. I don't really know. You have the power battery thingy to the right of the headphone jack, and you have the wireless system thing to the right of that. You have your power button. Thankfully, it's a button instead of a slider like on the DS Lite. Obviously, you're gonna have your the volume plus and minus buttons on the side, hopefully. I think they do, though. I'm not sure. You have a stylus, which, unlike the other styluses of the Nintendo DS series, it's extendable up to 4 inches, which I don't really get the point of having an extendable stylus, but who the hell cares? The resolution on the top screen is 800 by 240 pixels. The touchscreen has a resolution of 320 by 240 pixels. So what that basically means is you're going to have bigger 3D on the top screen than you have normal 2D on the bottom screen. 2D meaning two-dimensional video, or it's not to say that the bottom screen can only display 3D graphics. The bottom screen. The only thing about the bottom screen is that because the bottom screen is gonna smudge that because of finger smudges, stylus smudges. They decided not to make it 3D, and Mr. Who Knows What explained that during the E3 Expo. It's not much of a big deal as long as you have 3D. For those of you who have a DSi and you have plenty of DSi wear, it's not a big problem to actually play your DSi wear on the 3DS, because for those of you who have a DSi and connected to the DSi shop channel, you know that you had to make an account, and this account is used on the 3DS. So you could retrieve all your DSi wear and stuff like that without having to have both a 3DS and a DSi both left and right of each other. The 3DS is also backwards compatible with DS and 3DS games. Well, not backwards compatible with 3DS games, but you know what I mean. Something else to mention is that because of the inclusion of the home menu, it's going to have its own the home menu button. It's going to have its own home menu, just like the Wii and the DSi did. Hopefully this home menu is going to be a lot like the Wii's one, where you can have multiple things on screen, multiple like channels and stuff like that on screen at a time instead of block by block. But it's not really much of a deal if they decide to do it like the DSi's block by block. I'm not really much of a critic on that. So yeah, that's the 3DS in a nutshell. Oh wait, no. Before I forget, the 3DS, something you may or may not know, is it has a built-in gyroscope sensor in the middle of it, which Nintendo hopes to use in future physics games like that on the iTouch. But a big role it plays is in the 3D effect on the top screen. So it seems more realistic. It's basically making like the 3DS's top screen is the window to the three-dimensional world. But for those of you who don't understand what that means, and I should explain even further, is that let's say you have a cube and you're looking at it directly forward. You think that when you move the 3DS, like you rotate it to the left a bit, you think that now the block isn't going to be facing you anymore. Instead, it's going to be facing the direction of the top screen. What this gyroscope sensor does is that it always faces you. So the cube is going to be rotated opposite to what the 3DS is going to be rotated, so it's always facing you. Unless, of course, you move your character around to be somewhere in another place of the cube, where then it changes its position or rotation, whatever. And that's basically it. You have your sound app, like the DSi did. You have your camera app. You have 3DS download play. Your shop app. You have the SD card slot, which allows you to put in your music, save your images, and other stuff if you ever run out of space. You have what I call 3DS Connect 24, which is, if you have a Wii, you know what I'm pretty much talking about right now. What this does is it searches for hotspots and stuff while you're not even while not even connected to it. It always searches for like other 3DSs that you can connect to, so it has faster connection speed. Like on the DS download play, you know, you're always waiting for the thing to actually connect to another DS. This one's actually gonna connect it automatically because it's always searching for something to download and stuff like that. It has the firmware updates just like the DSi did. And basically there's nothing much more that I can mention about the 3DS. Of course it has Wi-Fi. Yeah, there's nothing much more. It's basically an upgraded DS, better graphics, I think I haven't mentioned that yet. The graphics are way better than the normal DSs. It's more like a combination between Nintendo 64 and GameCube. But it's not much at the Nintendo 64 line anymore. Instead, it's much more at the GameCube line, where the graphics are much more realistic and you see less polygons and stuff like that. Games you should really look forward to are the Metal Gear Solid game, the Kid Icarus game, the Paper Mario 3DS game, the Mario Kart 3DS game, obviously, and other games that are coming out. There's Sims, There's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS, which is like Ocarina of Time, but remixed with better graphics and use of the 3D stuff. I don't even know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it stuff. So yeah. The 3DS is gonna be pretty freaking sweet. It's pretty much Nintendo's way of saying, hopefully this will make people forgive us for the Virtual Boy. Basically. Yeah. This is Spiker13 signing out. And well, I'm getting a 3DS as soon as it comes out. And you should too.